What's up, you guys? It is Monday, the 1st of December, 2014, and I'm your host, Ant-Man. Fantastic day for news, I guess. Excuse me one moment, though. No, though, really, it is a fantastic day for news. Usually, I don't plan out whether I'm going to do the news or not. It just kind of, happens, because if I see an article that comes to my mailbox, I'll read it. Because, especially if it has something to do with, the culture and ethics and stuff, because that's usually what I'm pretty good at, I guess. But, yeah, as long as I could touch on it and see, point out some good points, then I'm going to read about it. And this happens to be something I'm really good at talking about, so hey, let's get into it. It is from WND.com under the column of education. It is a WND video, so you can go check it out. It's a front page article published 2 hours ago. Communism survivor. Common Core looks scary familiar. Do you want your kids to be test machines and cheap workers for corporations? Yeah. Man, I have to ask this question, and I know it's going to be rough on you guys out there, but if you're a Christian, what are you doing sending your son or your daughter to public school? And if you are you training them in the way that they should defend their faith? Are you training them in apologetics? Are you training them in theology? Are you training them to know what they believe in and how to defend all of the different things that the atheists bring up with their lame excuses? Do you know? Because I guarantee you, because I know people that go to my church that are freshmen in high school, that I'm going to try to say this without crying, man, because seriously it does hurt me so bad that this goes on. I know friends that are Christians that go to public school that get picked on because they're Christians, and it hurts, man. It hurts for someone to mock you and hate you for no reason, just because the society and the culture is so brainwashed that they think that they're so smart, right? You think you love knowledge so much that instead of saying something smart, you just go on and insult somebody and try to ruin them. It's pathetic. It's so pathetic, man. And my brothers, I wasn't not a Christian going to high school. I was pretty stupid. I was more into hanging out with my friends and music and stuff like that when I was in high school. And I always knew something was wrong with the public education system. I always knew there was something wrong with it. The way that they manage it, the way that they teach you, all the rest. The way that they harbor criminal type people and they punish people who just want to learn. It's really disgusting. And it's when I see that, man, man, sometimes, man, I'm just gonna be transparent and honest with you. I want to knock someone out because it's so evil, man. It's so messed up. You cause so much pain to someone by telling them you're stupid. You believe in a magic. You know what I mean? What is it about somebody having faith that you need to get offended and attack them for it? Oh, I get it, because conviction. You don't want to believe in God because you want to have orgies and you want to look at porn and all that, the rest, right? I know. You can't hide from me because I got the word of God in me, man, and you cannot hide from me. You can run, but you can't hide. Oh, before I go crazy, let's get back into this. Or let me start this, as I should say. A mother of 3 who came to America because of its reputation as a shining city on a hill is pleading with her state lawmakers to flee Common Core any way they can, calling it nothing less than the Common Core she endured while growing up in China. Right now, something's bugging me in the back of my brain when I said I feel like knocking somebody out when I see them picking on people for no reason just because they're Christian. The reason I wouldn't do it, but I'm telling you, just because I'm a human being and that's how I feel, that is just how it is. I'm not one of these prosperity preachers who pretends I'm so squeaky clean that I never sin. Because if you think you are not a sinner, if you think you are without sin, you are calling God a liar, and you aren't even saved, in my honest opinion. You are lost, and you're on your way to a very miserable fate, man. And hey, man, I know that that's not popular to tell people in Christianity today, because Christianity has turned into this yuppie thing. It's not real Christianity, but it disguises itself as Christianity. But I'll tell you straight up, if you've never seen a real Christian, you're looking at them right now. I'll tell you that we're not cowards, man. We're Martin Luther, all of the Protestant reformers, all of the people that have passed down the faith to us, man, are some of the bravest and most intellectual people you'll ever encounter in a book or in anything historical. So before you go around calling creationists stupid, Christians stupid, Go look at what you believe in. What I believe in is more believable than what you believe in, atheist. You guys are ridiculous if you think that everything does not tend toward disorder. So let me just get back into this. I grew up under Mao's regime, and we had the communist-dominated education, nationalized testing, nationalized curriculum, and nationalized indoctrination. Her testimony was reported by PJ Media, which said she warned against comparing test scores of American children with Chinese students. Yeah, man, you guys, if you have been following me for more, I've been doing this channel now for more than 2 years, and I was talking about this 2 years ago. I've been talking about this for a long time. The way that they teach you now is, it reminds me of like some type of Soviet, Russian, like, indoctrination under Stalin, because how do you ask a question, do you think human beings are still evolving? That's a real question in a public school. They're teaching your kids based out of textbooks that have been already in a court of law been proven to be teaching fraudulent things. But they still have the textbooks in the school teaching your kids that about the fruit fly and the mutations and how they don't give you any real answers. They just tell you a bunch of pseudo nonsense, and it's like, when you're really young, you can't really the difficult questions sometimes don't cross your mind. But the word evolution, the word mutation, and natural selection, these words are like magic words to them that they use, and supposedly that makes it true because you say that, and it's not true. I could go look at some of my science videos, man, because seriously, like, I could go on about this right now. Like, I take notes, I listen to scientists who believe in creation almost every day. I listen to them, and I want to learn more about how to break down, explaining a lot of complicated things, man, because science is just a fascinating thing, man. But anyways, let me get back into this. It's just sad, right? Because we don't teach our kids nothing. We teach them how to obey, shut up, you better do what I say, and then you better lick my boots after you're done doing what I say. And that's not going to create people that are independent thinkers who understand what free will is and all that. What you're gonna create are timid, robotic, people who just want to be like everyone else, broken-spirited, broken-hearted type people who hide behind these facades and masks of like, I have it all together, and I mean, it just causes so much pain, man, to teach your kids that they need to just obey and shut up and never question anything, and that's really what the public school system tries to do. It tries to indoctrinate you to be that way, to be someone who isn't being really treated as a human being, someone who's really being trained and to really find out what his potential is, you know what I mean? It's really not. How to think cognitively, how to strategize, none of that. They don't teach you that in school. They don't. They teach you how you need to go and get in debt and get into a college university so that you can spend the rest of your life paying that loan off or whatever, and then you're going to learn a bunch of stuff that's not going to be useful to you anyway, and you're never going to find a job because there are no jobs. And what else is going on with that? Oh yeah, that's pretty much what it is. They're just trying to make you a number and make you serve a system like an ant working for a queen. We're like animals, man. This is seriously like hive mindedness of we wake up, we go to work, and we come home. We wake up, we go to work. You know what you should really ask yourself? What do I like to do? And if you need money, why don't you ask yourself, how can I make money doing what I like to do? That's what a smart person would do. Not waste their time going to break their back working for somebody who doesn't respect you, who's someone who doesn't respect the dignity of who you are as a human being made in the image of God, the Imago Dei. They're going to talk to you like a slave. Hello? I don't know about you, but I've had plenty of jobs. I've worked for plenty of ambulance companies as a driver, and I know what people treat you like when you're in a field like that. The nurses and the doctors, some of the ugliest people I've ever met, and I'm talking about their heart, not their outward appearance. Some of the most rude, disgusting people I've ever met in my life. And they mock you when you're dying. Imagine that. And they're soft killing you with pharmakia as well. I'm telling you, Chinese children are not trained to be independent thinkers, she said. They are trained to be massive skilled workers for corporations, and they have no idea what happened in Tiananmen Square in 1989, where government ordered soldiers to shoot its own 1,000 students. Why do you think they don't allow the Bible in China? The Bible is banned in China. You can get put in jail for having a Bible. You wonder why? Because the Bible tells you that God's the king, he's the lawgiver, and he is pretty much the judge of the entire universe. He is sovereign. Nobody holds a higher seat of position than Jesus Christ. And when you realize that, then you're not afraid of your government anymore. Then you're not afraid of all the people that are trying to manipulate, dominate, and intimidate you. The devil goes around prowling around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Now, when you really understand the context and how to interpret that scripture exactly how it's supposed to be interpreted, you realize that what God is trying to tell you there is that the devil has no teeth. The devil's been declawed, defanged, but he does try to go around to scare people, and those that don't have the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind do not comprehend that this person cannot hurt you, because if you're a child of God, there are thousands of more angels that are behind your back than there are demons after you. Let's see, let's get back into this. She wrote about the issue in a commentary posted by the Tea Party group Freedom Works. This kind of stuff really gets me riled up if you haven't noticed. I believe that the education system is at the very core of why, when you look around, you're like, why are people so stupid? And forgive me if that offends you, but if you're a grown man and you don't understand this kind of stuff, man, you're stupid. You're supposed to be a responsible human being. You live in a country where freedom is we have the idea of freedom in the Constitution, and if we actually were citizens and statesmen of our own country, and we took up the responsibility to try to maintain that for the future, instead of just having sex all the time, having kids, and not being responsible for it, then maybe we would have freedom still. But the fact of the matter is this isn't really America no more, and you're not free. And you're under a delusion that you are free, and it's all a bubble. They keep you away from all the real news that goes on all over the world, and they keep you distracted with celebrity nonsense. And this is the dumbing down of America. It's been going on for a long time now. Decades, man. Since black and white TV. Let's see. Sorry, that was annoying. We were told to chant every day in the government-run public schools, "Long live Chairman Mao, long live Communist Party." We were required to write in our diaries every day and turn them in for teachers to review. In the diaries, we were supposed to confess our incorrect thoughts to Mao, or do self-criticism, or report anything bad we heard or saw from other students, family, and friends, she wrote. Did you see in the news today that the woman that criticized Obama resigned? You know, when people resign in politics, that means that they got fired, right? Well, all the liberal, crazy, mentally ill people out there that were calling for her to be fired was because, I don't remember her name, but she got asked to resign because she criticized Obama's daughters. She said that Obama's daughters were classless, and I'm just, hey man, if this is America, dude, why should you have to resign for speaking your mind? Even if it does offend you, who cares? Why don't you be a man about it and try to, confront that person instead of trying to ruin their livelihood and doing some criminal things like that? You know what I mean? Like, you're just trying to go behind people's back and get a whole bunch of angry mobsters to go after you and stuff. It's just, how do you go to sleep at night with that kind of stuff, man? Like, when you operate that way, I don't understand that. You probably go to that, that really homoerotic Moloch ritual where they do at Bohemian Grove, the cremation of care. That's probably what they really do, because the cremation of care, if you don't know what that is that they go, it's like a ritual that these weirdo elites do, and they go because they're trying to get all of their cares out of them. Because, see, the Jesuit ideology about the conscience is that you can train it to not care anymore. And that's how you really go and go through with all this evil stuff that they do, is because they've trained their conscience not to feel bad about the things they do anymore. That's a true thing. What's the Jesuits' name? The guy that founded them? I forgot, man. I always forget that guy's name. But did you know the Jesuits were banned in almost every country in the world? And people don't know and have any clue as to who they are anymore. And I'm not saying they're like the only people, man. There's a Club of Rome, there's Bilderberg, there's so many groups of people in this world that are evil, and they're all like trying to like, they play Monopoly with our lives, like, oh, I own this and you own that, but I'm trying to come after you and I'll make everyone suffer for it. And that's how it really works in the real world, people. We would memorize Mao's quotations and recite them aloud during class for school fun activities. We would dress them up as Chinese minority people in their costumes to sing and dance, thanking Mao and the Communist Party for saving them from poverty. Unbelievable. They even lied about the World Cup when that happened. They were telling everybody that the U.S. sucked and they were losing big time and they were doing all great and all that. It's just, they lie straight up to their people, like, in it's cold. It's really cold. Mao was like a god to me. I would see him rising from the stove fire of talking to me from the clouds. Wow. Or talking to me from the clouds, she said. In school, she said, teachers had to comply with all the curriculum and testing requirements or lose their jobs forever. Like in America, if you're a creationist, kiss your job goodbye because they are going to come after you. And if you're a moral, decent human being and you're in the medical field, man, you're going to either have to sell your soul or quit that job. And I'm not kidding, and I love being an EMT. And I hate the fact that I cannot be one anymore because FEMA's asking us to be snitches and report people who own guns. They're soft killing people in front of you. They neglect a lot of the things that they're supposed to be doing. There's a lot of people in the field that shouldn't be in the field. It's just that people get caught up in this like impressionistic kind of mentality where if I become a doctor, I'll have respect. I'll get respect. But you really don't have a heart for what you're doing. You're just all about getting respect and getting your own, like reputation and respect. Parents had no choice at all when it came to what we learned in school. The government would use the various registration procedures to keep track of its citizens from birth to death. Kind of like Social Security, huh? Isn't that weird? Photos were on file, she said, accompanied by details on older gender parents, jobs, political class, religion, siblings, home addresses, grades, awards, punishments, politically incorrect speeches, and more. I kid you not, I went to Target a long time ago to apply for a job. And then they asked me if I thought the government was corrupt. I was thinking, like, why is Target asking me if I think the government is corrupt for if I'm just coming to get a job real quick? So that they don't hire you. See, because if they can keep the Christian down so that he doesn't get money, then he has no funds to fund anything that he wants to promote. You don't think that money's being used against you, Christian? There's so many things you might be oblivious to, my friend, but don't take heart, okay? Take heart and don't fear, all right? I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. And if that makes you not like me, I must be doing my job right. To obtain permission to travel to America, she said she's had to sign a paper to promise to return to my job. Unbelievable. It was shared by all the government agencies and employers. Wow. Even though I finally broke the tracking of Chinese government of me by coming to America, I still feel sometimes that I am haunted by my life, or by my file, she said, explaining today that it is somewhere in a local security or police office. The worst I fear is that Common Core could be used by the government and corporations to do data collection and data mining on our children. No. Really? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be such a weird jerk. It's just that it's just like when people say some obvious stuff like that, it's like, okay, have you even looked at Common Core? It's made to make every single right-winger look like a fascist. I'm serious. It's made so that all libertarians and the founding fathers and all the classical liberals look like terrorists. I'm serious. It's to demonize everything that made this country great. Christianity is on the list of Homeland Security terrorists. We are up there with Islam. I'm not playing with you. Go look it up. The worst I fear is that what else could come to take away more of our rights and privacy? Our freedom is very precious and we must fight to keep it. Without freedom, you are just a slave, no matter how much money you have. Trust me to say this because I have lived under tyranny before and I never want to live in it again, she said. Somebody literally insulted me the other day and was like, because of like my transportation right now. He said something about like my life really must suck because of that. And I was like, so you measure the quality of life based on what you have materially, like materialistically? Isn't it funny how we measure success in this country? Like, the more money you have or the more possessions you have, the more success. That's not necessarily true. Do you think Obama having a peace prize makes him successful? Think about what gave him that peace prize. It's as phony as his birth certificate. It's all just there's an agenda, and so they got to make him look good, and nobody can criticize him because he's the Führer. How dare you? How dare you insult the Messiah? The Common Core State Standards Initiative spells out what K-12 students should know in English, language, arts, and mathematics at the end of each grade. 43 states and the District of Columbia have adopted it. And another thing, too, I can't stand when people are boastful and arrogant and prideful when they have money or a job. You're a slave. You're a slave, man. What are you so proud about? That you have a bunch of money that's devalued and it's fiat currency? Yeah, I mean, based on mathematics, it's a fact that this economy will crash one day because of the way that we spend money and we let our government fund terrorists in the Middle East and all the rest. And you think you have money, right? Somebody pointed out something very interesting to me the other day. Because I brought up the fact that ISIS is bringing up their own currency. It's called the dinari or something, and they're trying to get a man, I can't think of the word right now. I want to say patent. It's not the word. Mint. They're trying to mint it. They're trying to get gold and silver minted so that, they can have their own little, currency. And these people are in cahoots with Turkey. They're getting mad money from oil. I can see them getting more wealthy than the United States and actually it becoming something that you get called a terrorist for if you have gold and silver. I can see that. They don't want you to have real money. They want you to have Federal Reserve debt notes. They don't want you to be really wealthy. They want you to be, like I said, like the ant that doesn't do anything but just work for the queen all day. That's it. But there are many others who are opposing them. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association has released a video of parents testifying sometimes very emotionally of how the program has negatively affected their children. Oh, you think? I don't remember. Dude, school did not help me at all. I don't know about you guys, but it actually left me worse than... It didn't help me, it actually hurt me. But just keep sending your kids, I guess. Let's see how they turn out, right? My older son took the test, did just fine, said Elaine Coleman, a parent of public school students in New York. But then her younger son went into 3rd grade. Within a month, everything just bottomed out. He didn't like school anymore. He said he was dumb. He said he was stupid. He didn't understand anything. I didn't know what to do. Help him. Or I didn't know what to do to help him, she said. The video called The Parents' Interviews is part of the HSLDA's Building the Machine. Yeah, Common Core needs to go away. The first 2 states to fully implement the controversial standards were New York and Kentucky. I remember somebody that I think is into homeschooling told me that they even make you use the Common Core curriculum in homeschooling as well. Well, I wouldn't use it. And you know what? You know what happens to you if you homeschool your kids and you're not using Common Core curriculum? Oh, you guessed it. The government comes and takes away your kids. Isn't that lovely? It's about the creepiest thing you can ever imagine. The documentary addresses the problem found by teachers, students, and parents in the Washington-centric program as applied to classrooms. Filmmaker Ian Reed's project interviews parents, teachers, and a social worker from New York whose experiences with Common Core are firsthand. When people when people say, Matt, how do you know MKUltra mind control programs are being run on civilians and on us? How do I know? Because people from the inside come out and tell you. CIA, ex-CIA agents do come out and they do tell you. When the government's telling you that they're conducting mind control experiments on you, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, you ought to really question what's really going on at the top when they're not even worried about you knowing about this anymore. Mary Calamia, a licensed clinical social worker interviewed, said she observed a significant increase in the number of students struggling with anxiety and depression since the Common Core's implementation in the Empire State. What was so upsetting for the children was they couldn't do the work. They feel stupid. They were extremely anxious and extremely distressed about going to school. not only are they not teaching your kids really how to learn right, and that's why they're not learning anything, but they're actually, when you're sending your kids to school, they're being thrown in a community of kids with a lot of issues, like not having parents, not having positive male role models in their life, all of the rest. And a lot of kids don't like going to school because of bullying nowadays. There's so much bullying that goes on in school nowadays. Because I mean, go turn on MTV, go turn on whatever you want on the television and see what they're trying to program you with right now. Go check it out. Just be stupid and laugh at stupid, mindless nonsense all the time and make yourself an idiot, and then everybody will like you. And if you're a woman, you become a princess, and then just how they control us is it's really sad. The film is a follow-up to the highly successful documentary Building the Machine, which reviewed the creation and implementation of Common Core. It was released in March. We were really happy with the response to the Building the Machine film. Most viewers felt that it was an excellent primer on the standards and their questionable background, but many also expressed that they wanted a more in-depth look at the Common Core and how the standards have impacted parents and children, said Reed. In response to those quests, we've put together an additional 20-minute documentary featuring parents' interviews from the state of New York and 6 content-specific episodes that explore issues such as international benchmarking, high-stakes testing, and data mining, and more. And if you still use Facebook, I'm like, it's like when I see someone go turn on the news. You know what I mean? Like, you're still using Facebook? You're still watching the news? Are you deaf? They're collecting data on you in the NSA mind control databases that they have, because then they can know who you are, so that they can know who their enemies are, who's a real threat to them. People like me who tell you the truth. Yeah, because everything that you put on Facebook is how they know what kind of a person you are. So if you're posting stuff on Facebook like, man, if you're, especially with this, I don't have a Facebook no more because of that, and also because I can't stand that people spend so much time on it, and they're not really even learning anything. They're not doing anything productive. They're just gossiping and putting up memes. It's like, okay, dude, like, I get kind of tired of that after a while. Like, anyway, that's fun once in a while, but like all the time, like every day, you need to find something better to do, man. For real. Calamia said one student subjected to the new programming caved the word stupid in her wrist. She carved stupid in her wrist. Dang, that's like mental torture, man. This is like literally mental torture going on in schools. Parent Christine Barbaro reported she thought that her children were being bullied, abused, or even molested because of the drastic change in their personalities. Oh, and that's another good point. Look at how many teachers nowadays you hear having sex with their students. Think about that. You almost hear a different new report every single day now from people getting caught having sex with their students. Oh, but yeah, just go drop your kids off every morning and treat public school like it's a nursery, like a daycare center, so you don't have to deal with your kids all the day long. I didn't anticipate a child falling apart completely, she said. Gwendolyn Britt said Common Core takes in any teacher's creativity, takes away children's creativity. So we can so we can compete globally, she wondered. I don't want to compete globally. The documentary includes an interview with David Coleman, College Board President and Chief Mover behind the change. He explained his officials could decide what was crucial and what was not. He said he's using data from children as a force that moves kids forward. And if you didn't understand what I was saying about the whole princess thing, the Disney propaganda machine is all about teaching boys how to be warriors, about being so that you think war is cool, and then you go and join the military industrial complex. And for little girls, they feed you the princess story, so that you could just be a little snotty brat. I'm so serious, man. This stuff works. This stuff works like a charm, and it works under your nose without you even realizing it. It's called pre-program. It's called subconsciously programming you. That's what it is. Let's see. Even mathematics classes are politicized in the controversial Common Core program for public schools, points out the world's largest promoter of homeschooling. WND has published numerous reports on Common Core, including recently when Common Core curriculum author Jason Zimba admitted the standards don't provide an adequate mathematics education. If you want to take calculus your freshman year in college, you need to take more mathematics than is in the Common Core, said Zimba. Yeah, it's more made to dumb you down so that you can get an A. That's really what it really is. But there was a testimony of a young girl that was on the Freeman Fly show, and or actually Freeman Fly was on her show. She's 13 years old and she understands all of this. It's really amazing. But anyway, she even said she gave a testimony about how there was a teacher once that told her that marriage is not good. And this is what also is going on in the school system, is that your kids are getting indoctrinated with these ideologies that marriage isn't good, family isn't good, your parents are stupid, I'm more smarter than your parents, you need to listen to me, not your parents. Not only that, but they're also trying to deter the faith in people. They're trying to kill people's faith. And you know what Jesus Christ said about people who attack other people's faith and try to hurt them like that? You are better off tying a millstone around your neck and drowning yourself in the ocean. So that goes for you Common Core weirdos out there that want to push indoctrination on little kids. You guys are sick, and you need to repent and put your faith in Jesus Christ, because what you're doing is disgusting. You need to promote free will, like the you know what I mean, like the fact that you can make good decisions, you can make moral decisions even when you're trying to compete in a free market system. It's not just all about being a greedy punk, man. Yeah, but, you know, that's what it is. It is what it is, you guys. And, you know, I say all this stuff out of love. You know, I would forgive anyone that was a Common Core principal, teacher, whatever, you know, and that repented. That would be a miracle. But the fact of the matter is that there's too much shame in that, and most likely they won't. And they'll become polarized. They'll become reverse polarized by it and probably become more hostile toward the whole movement that we're trying to go with right now, which is change. Not the change Obama promised, real change. Change, meaning that we go back to free market systems, we change a lot of our policies in the, you know, our, meaning like we get someone like Dr. Ben Carson in the, you know, the presidency, you know, we do something like that, that would be cool. You know, our foreign policy would change, you know, all kinds of stuff would change, man. I really do believe that. Ben Carson's the real deal, and I don't know, man. We need someone to get behind. We need someone to tell everybody that they should support, because I guarantee you that from what I see, it looks like Hillary Clinton's going to be our next president. And it's not because that's who we want. It's because that's who we have to have, because you see there's an agenda, and she helps that agenda, and Ben Carson definitely doesn't. The doctor's a brilliant man. But anyways, God bless you guys, and stay awake, stay you know, diligent in your learning and seeking after God, and I guarantee you, God is good, and He will not ever leave you and forsake you. He will train you up in the teaching of righteousness and transform your heart and give you one of flesh and replace that one of stone. God bless you.